welcome back to my channel, Bookshelf 31. Today I wanted to give you a glimpse of the process of creating your own junk journal. This journal is not done. It is in the process. It's going to be my personal journal. I'm so excited about it. But sometimes you see the end product and you're like, how'd they come up with that? How'd they think to put all that together? So I'm going to show you a little bit of my process and what works for me and things that you can try. So first of all, I have an old book that I found at I think it was a Carm store, just another thrift shop that we have here in town. And I opened it up and this was all connected like this. And so I took an X-Acto knife and I pulled it a little bit, you could see that it was naturally kind of coming apart. And so took an X-Acto knife and cut it down, and I also did that on the back side. And then I was left with this. And I actually haven't decided if I want to keep it like this. I think the images are pretty and vintage looking in themselves, but just not sure. I don't know if I want to cover them up, so I haven't gotten that far yet. So anyways, I have been working on the cover. This is just a sheet of, I think it was a 12 by 12 paper that I found, and I love the colors in it. They scream me. So I cut it down to size, and I used this PVA glue. It works really, really well. And there's no puckering under here. And it's really it's ideal for bookbinding and paper projects. It adheres your stuff so well. I love it. And you can find it on Amazon. I can link it down below in case you're interested. So I'll do that. And I just get a paintbrush and I use the paintbrush and paint this all over there. And then I lay my paper on top and I cut it over. Now, if I use the 12 by 12 all the way, it wasn't gonna work because I didn't have enough of the paper. So I left this open and I was thinking, well, what am I gonna do to cover this up? So I came up with this. I went through my fabric stash, and because I have tons of fabric from just different projects that I do, and this is floral, and it's got pink and coral undertones, a little bit of red, some tan, and then I had this, so you can see it, there we go. And so I just free-handed all of this. There was no planning, just free-handed, and then I stitched all the way around to connect both pieces of fabric. And I am going to lay it like this, and I can't go ahead and adhere it because I have to actually bind my book in there. But once I get done, then I'll cover it up and it'll look something along these lines. Yeah, something along those lines. I think it'll look really pretty, and I'm really excited about it. And then I can add a picture or a quote or something of my liking later on. Again, I'm still in the process of this, and you know, honestly, a lot of things just turned out different than what I might plan because I just kind of go with it. I go with the flow, and I pull from colors that I like, colors that work well. And so yeah, you can most certainly, if you wanted to, I've seen people use doilies, I've seen people use all sorts of things to put just on their binding area. Or if you want to just leave the binding area exposed where you'll see the threads, like I have on this one. Here's another journal that I did. So you can either leave the binding exposed like that, or you can cover it up, and which is what I think I'm going to do for this one. I think it'll just look pretty. So that's that. Now for the papers. I did buy one paper pack and it had this. I thought that was very feminine and very just pretty. And then I had found a whole bunch of the single sheets that were on sale at a craft store, and I just grabbed a whole bunch of different papers that I thought were pretty, and then I started just pulling them all together and deciding which ones I wanted to use. So this one's a bird, and it's got like a really light pink undertone. And then this one, this was from a paper pack as well. This was just a single sheet, and then this was a single sheet. I try to kind of stick to, I try to find a pattern that really draws me in, and then I kind of go from there and pull out different colors. So this one has a lot of different colors in it, and it's got some pink, so I pull in some pink paper. And then this one, it's also got some like blues and kind of greens right there, so this pulls in, and then this. Don't be afraid to play with different patterns and colors. Also decide on a theme. Do you mostly want florals? Do you want a vintage look? Do you want a modern look? Are you going for a baby junk journal? Are you going for, what is the purpose of it? So keep those things in mind as you're trying to look for papers and you're gathering and deciding what you want to do. Next, I tea dye. Once I got all my papers, I've decided to tea dye them. And if you all are interested in a video on how I tea dye, just comment below and I can put one up. It's really easy. I boil tea, I dump it into a big baking dish, and then I put my papers in there that are already cut down to size. And then I bake them in the oven. Yes, you can bake them in the oven and it's safe. Just don't leave the oven or you can burn your papers. I haven't done that yet, but yeah, so that's really easy. It's a little tedious and time consuming, but I think the effects are great. So all of these have been tea dyed. And I decided to do, then you want to decide, you know, how many a pack of paper that you will sew into your junk journal is called a register. And so I decided to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like doing odd numbers. I think odd numbers artistically are more appealing, and I think it still is a good number for my book. And it'll still give room for me to grow, but it's, yeah, I think it's a good amount, or will be. So, okay, so I also took copy sheet, just regular printer paper, tea dyed those, because there's something about just stark white canvas sometimes that can be intimidating, but if something's already kind of used and worn, it's a little bit more welcoming. You have those warm colors, and I really love the vintage look, and that was kind of something that I was going for. So did that. You can also get just regular notebook paper you have lying around or in a notebook. Rip it out. Tea dyed that. I also have an old hymnal. It was one of those books that I have found in a thrift shop, and I was able to tear out a page. Okay, and so start pulling papers from different places. Okay, once you've got the basics, start doing that. And I'll give you a quick, okay. So some of my papers have come, this one doesn't have much in it yet. Some of my papers come from old books that, so like the golden books or encyclopedias, dictionaries, any kind of old book that you find pictures or images, awesome. So this is one that I found in an encyclopedia, and it's got flowers. I love flowers, and so I just thought it was perfect, and it was already vintage. I did not tea dye this because it's already got cut lip to it, and this one I'm just going to fold and put in. I've got a golden book image here. Okay, and there's another hymn. I am very religious. There's just something so sweet and personal about having hymns in something that I'll be journaling in quite often, and so that's special to me and something that I really just wanted. So again, I have the tea dyed paper, and this tore while I was tea dyeing it, but you know, I honestly don't care because that's a great opportunity to be artistic and say, okay, well, I'm going to put a piece of fabric over that, or I'm going to put some washi tape, turn it into something really cool. So you have your book, your basics, so you can either use an old book that you found. You've also heard me, my last book, I used a Ritz cracker box. Find some cardboard, a cereal box of some sort, get your book, okay? Go ahead, you can cover your outside. If you've got an old book, tear out the pages. Then you want to decide on what theme you're going to be doing and what color papers you want. If you want vintage, do you want to put in the effort to tea dye or not? And so you've got that. Then you start pulling your papers. And then you want to think about adding just little bits of embellishment to help spark that creativity when you do go to start journaling. And it gets really fun. And yeah, I just love the whole process of this. It's just all fun. Yes. So, so like this. Okay. I cut this corner and I'm going to make it into a pocket. I'm going to put some double-sided tape on here on the back and put it down right there, and then it's a little pocket. So start thinking, where do I want to add pockets? Where do I want to add tags? What little things can you add to personalize it and give yourself extra tuck spots? Think about your tuck spots, okay? And that kind of thing. You also want to be keeping in mind, if you love to sew and you have a sewing machine or you want to embroider something, now's a great time to go ahead and do some of that. So I will probably stitch this up with my sewing machine. This was just a book page. Stitch it up with my sewing machine and then put it in there with some washi tape. And just like here, I will, double-sided tape is your best friend. Also, don't forget the PVA glue. And then that'll be a fold out. So tuck spots, fold outs, those types of things. And I might stitch that in to another page, or I haven't completely decided yet. Maybe I might. I don't know. So like some of the hymn books, you can either fold them like this, pages, you can fold them like this, stuck them in there like that, or if some people fold them, you know, this way, tuck them in like that. I kind of like to be able to see the words. Yeah. So I think this is fitting. This is the day that the Lord has made, and then you have little Heidi just happy with her flowers. Sometimes I just feel like that, or I wish life could always be like that, one of those days. Sometimes you have those days, sometimes you don't. Okay, so moving on with, okay, so some cool little tuck spots also. You can get, so I like to incorporate some of the other papers that I've used in the other registers that I've made and use them within the other registers. So you're constantly mixing and adding different things in. And so you can stitch with a different color thread. You can keep it neutral. So far I've just been keeping a neutral thread, so I don't, because I'm kind of lazy and I don't want to constantly change out the thread. But it does make cool tuck spots. And tuck spots are places where you can put a journaling card, photos, any memorabilia from a special event. So like this page, this section needs some more work. That's why it's called a process video. And so this is going to be a big pocket. So I will put double-sided tape on the edges, and then I'll stick this down, and then I'll be able to stick a little tag in there or whatnot. Here's some stitching I have already done. I got to do this today. So I've got this paper, which I also used in this register, and then I pulled out some of the fabric that I was using for the binding. Came from this, and I was like, oh, well, this all matches. This looks great. So I decided just to make a small little pocket, just a small one. Sweet little happy pocket. And I stitched it all down. And it's just fun seeing how creative you can get with that. And next I will probably do a video on all the little extra like tags or journal cards that I make, and how I'll use them in this journal. So it's all a process, but it's so much fun. So this again was from an encyclopedia. I have a hole punch, a large circle punch, and just punch that there. So you can add a little sweet picture or something like that. This is some more stitching. I just did a little pocket. Here's the stitching. Incorporating fabrics and stitching, it just adds something different and unique and wholesome, kind of, I guess. Here's a little, I just made it look flat. I just thought that would be fun. And I like adding texture. Texture's fun. It's different and it's appealing. And so yeah, I will be continuing to work on this. It is definitely all a process, but I'm getting there and I'm so excited. I can't wait to actually have it together and be using it. I'm ready to journal. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you. I don't want you to be intimidated by the junk journaling process. I think it's so fun and it's relaxing if you like this kind of thing, and it's rewarding, and it's just fun. And so I hope you feel encouraged. The supplies are not expensive. You get, if you know you're going for a certain theme, then only buy thrift store books for that theme. And the actual bookbinding materials, tools that you use, they're like 20 bucks or less. This is so easy, guys, and it's not that expensive, and it's something that can last you. So yeah, all right, I hope y'all have a good day, and I can't wait to hear from you and look forward to seeing you again. Bye.